Open a small hollow bronze shape with 12 pentagonal faces, and you meet the Roman Dodecahedron, precise, handheld, and stubbornly undocumented. Each face has a circular hole of a different size. Opposite faces line up into sightlines, and every vertex ends in a knob that makes it easy to grip or set down without rolling. Findspots cluster across the northwestern provinces of the Roman Empire, Britain, Gaul, the Germanies, often in settlements or hordes, rarely with inscriptions, labels, or instructions. No surviving Roman text names it or explains it, so Roman Dodecahedron explained starts with what the object itself can tell us and what the distribution hints at. The build quality is consistent. Thin cast walls, clean round apertures, and regular corner knobs suggest a standardized craft rather than one-off curios. Where patterns vary, some crisp, some abraded, and a few museum records note traces of wax or soot-like films, which matters when we test light-based uses. Because we lack ancient manuals, the method is archaeology 101. Generate hypotheses, then try to falsify them with geometry, residues, and wear. Measurement is the first family of ideas. Rangefinding uses similar triangles. Sight a known-size target through a matched pair of opposite holes. When the target just fits the aperture, distance drops out from simple ratios. That fits the paired apertures, variable diameters, and handheld form, and experiments show you can estimate range at useful scales for surveying, hunting, or field practice. Limitations are real. Most pieces lack engraved scales or standard ratio sets, and whole sequences differ between finds, which muddies universal tool claims. A second measurement variant treats the holes as gauges, go, no-go sizing of rods, cords, or dowels. Edges are neat enough to work as gauges, and a compact size set is handy in workshops. Yet hole series across known pieces do not track a single standard, and many rims show too little repetitive wear for heavy shop duty. Light-based uses form the second family. A thin bronze shell around a small flame makes a tidy windscreen. Holes project patterned light. Corner knobs stabilize the shell when set on a surface or frame. Reports of wax traces or soot support a lamp or lantern roll, and aperture variety could create distinctive cones for signaling or ritual choreography. The counter-argument is that many pieces show no uniform soot, and the geometry seems over-engineered if simple candle holder were the only job. Textiles are the third camp. Reenactors can knit or weave finger openings sized by the holes and produce snug gloves, which scratches the ancient Roman tool's itch with a satisfying demo. But direct evidence for that specific technique in the Roman period is thin, and the metallurgy and finish on many pieces look like elite metalwork rather than everyday fiber tools. Ritual is the fourth umbrella. Status bronze, careful casting, and deposition in special contexts allow for a ceremonial or symbolic object whose use was performance, not measurement. That neatly explains minimal wear on many pieces and the lack of standard marks. But ritual can become a catch-all that stops us testing technical signals in the geometry. So what does the balance of evidence say without hype? First, the paired apertures across faces create precise sightlines and fixed angular windows. Hard to ignore if the object was meant to interact with space and scale. Second, the ladder of varying diameters behaves like a set of angular steps, exactly the thing you need to size targets or tune light cones. Third, residue notes keep light and wax on the table, at least for some contexts, and the stable base and knobs make handling around flame safer. Fourth, the provincial clustering hints at regional practice or training, not a pan-imperial standard kit. What probably falls away? Pure ornament is unlikely. The geometry is too systematic and cross-site workmanship too consistent. Gaming dice don't benefit from calibrated apertures and sightlines. Coin gauges struggle because hole sets do not match known coin series across multiple pieces. What remains plausible and testable on camera? A compact sight and gauge tool for estimating distance to known size targets or checking sizes in the field, with variants built by different workshops. A lantern or signal shell where hole sets mattered because they cast distinct light cones or patterns. Functional and, in some contexts, ceremonial. A status instrument taught by apprenticeship rather than text, which would explain the silence of literature and the variability of hole sequences. How do we push from plausible to probable without pretending certainty? Map hole diameters across many dodecahedra and test whether pairs cluster around repeatable angular ratios. Replicate rangefinding against targets of fixed size and report error margins at 10, 20, and 50 meters. Sample residues inside holes versus blank faces. If wax is real, chemistry should separate lamp soot from storage grime. Inspect rims under magnification for the rounding and micro nicks that heavy gauging or frequent sighting leaves. If results converge, shared ratio ladders, repeatable range bands, matching residue signatures, the engineering tool model gains weight. If not, light ritual rises. In short, a Roman dodecahedron is a purpose-built hollow bronze with calibrated holes and stable grips, distributed mainly in the empire's northwest, unmentioned in texts, and still best treated as an engineering plus ritual spectrum rather than a single solved gadget. Keep the conversation evidence first: geometry, residues, wear, distribution, and your audience will get why it's still a mystery without the clickbait. If you want us to close the loop, we'll 3D print 2-size sets, run the range test side by side, and show whether unsolved Roman artifacts really means unmeasured so far. Stay for the follow-up. We'll test what were dodecahedrons used for with live range checks, light cone demos, and a side-by-side of Roman bronze artifacts that do carry labels so you can see how solved tools advertise themselves and how mysteries don't.